Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to CRL. We are back for Season 5 and it starts here tonight with the CRC Tier 4, previously known as the Academy. I'm CRL Freefall, your host tonight, but you can call me Scott, and you'll be glad to know that I am not here on my own. I am joined once again by the beautiful CRL Steiny. Steiny, why didn't you say a couple of words and introduce yourself?
Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Scott. Absolutely. Before I talk a few words just about who I am and what we're about to see, absolutely big congrats to you, mate. The transaction looks absolutely stunning, and I'm very, very excited for the season to go through commentating. Today it is me joining the co-commentating seat alongside with the main host, Scotty, aka Free Fall, and it is a big pleasure because we are going to start off this season 5 with a banger at the very beginning already. We are back home for many drivers here in Cone Racing League. We are in Britain, in Silverstone, and wow, I'm super excited for today, and I think you have a great plan already for today, so why shall we not just jump into it straight away, because all the drivers are waiting for us to hit her off.
Yeah, well, might as well get cracking on. Obviously, those that watched us last week for the pre-season race, we're maybe going to recover some things, so we're just going to blast through this. Season 5 CRL, probably the most ambitions we've had so far, and that goes with the calendar, a 15-round calendar here. Starting off at round 1 in Great Britain, then on to France, Netherlands, Belgium to finish off the initial European season. Canada and Japan follow that up before our break week. Second half of the season. Again, China, Azerbaijan, Italy, Mexico, Austria, Singapore, Bahrain, Russia and Brazil. That is the 15 rounds in the order. You've got every kind of track there you can imagine. Apart from maybe Monaco, there'll be a few people disappointed at that. Would you say you're amongst them, Steiny, or what's your overview for this calendar? I think it's going to be a cracker.
Absolutely not. I absolutely agree. Yeah, I'm definitely. I don't have any tier to lose for Monaco. Rip Duval as well. Everyone knows that he's the one that is just dominating this track. He's absolutely quick. But this combination that we have right now for on the calendar, it's very interesting to see, because we are starting off this amazing season 5 with 15 races in Britain already. A beautiful track, one of the oldest tracks in history, and followed as well by so many open and long straights with France as well, where we have a lot of different driving styles going over Netherlands. We're going through many different tracks, and there's a lot of different skills needed from the driver in this season before we are going into the next season, with eventually as well already the new tracks being added. So very excited to be here today, and I can't wait.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, round 1, here we start in Great Britain. Silverstone, an old airfield from World War II, used to be a start and end of many a dogfight, and I think we'll have much the same here today. 5.8 kilometres at 18 turns, and has hosted 9 CRL races in total. The most recent pole and winner for this tier being J Wells last season, the finale of Tier 4 in Season 4. Of course, he was chasing down the title, and unfortunately it slipped away to Ryan Mills. Curiously enough though, I think the stats in this track is there's been 9 different winners out of the 9 CRL races. Will we see a new winner here tonight? What's your thoughts on that, Steiny? Do you think one of the guys that are yet to make their mark on this league, on this season, well, they haven't made a mark on the season, we're just starting, but do you think it'll be a newcomer on the top step tonight?
Ooh, I think this season is going to look really competitive in every single tier, even more than it was last season, just because we have so many newcomers as well. And as we already announced last time, we have 10 newcomers now in Tier 4. So that is definitely going to change up the usual order, and we've seen amazing racing already from 2 drivers. In particular, the one was V Cami, and I think it was Mark as well, Mark Wilson. Both drivers are new to Cone, and both are very, very impressive. But great racing needs to have some good driver as well, and we definitely do have them. Why should we not just quickly go through the entire grid?
Yeah, so just looking there, there's a little issue with the game there for some reason. I got put into a Williams. But yeah, speaking of the grid, a lot of new drivers, a lot of returning drivers. We touched on them very briefly last week. You've got guys like Hedgehog, Me Man Moody, MUFC Harvey, Digweed, Piero, all veterans of the league. New guys like Atomic, Snakebite, the Maverick, Wee Cammy, Drone, new fresh in. We've got a nice little mix of experience and newcomers. It'll be a nice little mix just to see the guys that are maybe new to league racing, how they can do, how they can pull off the bat. The guys that are a bit more experienced, maybe looking to push on and make that stake for a tier 3 seat next season. Of course, so many newcomers, you never know where they're going to fall into the bat. There could be some absolute flyers here.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very excited. We have so many people who are very, very quick, very, very consistent as well already. And we are just about to jump into the first little session here into qualifying while we're having a quick look over the entire driving grid. But looking very, very promising so far. Our newcomer, it was an amazing race to commentate. Last time it was in USA, and this time it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful track as well. A very, very a big favorite track for many, many drivers as we are heading down very, very shortly on the track.
Yeah, we're just about to get started. Looks like SSS Matthews is the first out. We'll just jump across to the stream now. I just see for some reason I am in that Williams. I'm not sure what's happened there. Maybe
technical issues are always the biggest enemy.
Always the same. I just hope I haven't stole somebody's seat. I don't think we would, because I think they would have told me by now. But yeah, SS Matthews, he's the first guy to take us around the track. We're going to jump on board. Steiny, how about you take us around for the rest of his lap?
Absolutely, would be a big pleasure at the moment. SS Matthews just approaching a very, very slow section, just going out of the turn at the moment and preparing his exit out of turn 8 into turn 9, or also named Cops Corner, which you usually can take flat out. He has to brake a little bit unfortunate for him, a bit of turning in too late, but good recovered, turning in on right hand side, go on a curb, left curb as well, and sweeping into the turn. But I think he might lost a lot of time there, but he's still continuing. I think he's actually finishing his lap. I think he might have done a mistake, too big and restarting his lap. But braking usually on the 100-meter board on the right hand side, turning in early, getting the apex on the left hand side and on the right hand side on the exit, and very, very early on the throttle, just crossing over the line. SS Matthews starting off the evening on a 31.5. But there are many, many more cars to follow as well, as we have a few Alpine with Atomic following now and make a 28.4. That looks like a better time already. But CRL Digweed in the Mercedes is on a 27.5, taking provisional pole for now. Very, very strong start for the Mercedes driver, who has to go straight away, out of the way for V Cami, just following him.
Yeah, I hate to tell you there, Steiny, but your fast lap, just because of some audio mixing glitches, you're a bit muffled there. But yeah, Digweed, AFL, Piero, Tomo, all putting in decent wee banker laps here. Tomo, one to watch from that pre-season race last week, of course. He's a veteran of the league. He's raced in Tier 3 last season. Definitely one to watch here. Currently in P4. What are you expecting for a pole time then? Personally, I'm expecting them to dip down into the 126s. I think that'd be a very good lap.
Yeah.
MEFC Harvey just gets a purple sector 2. This could be one to watch here with Ride on board. But I think, as we get through this session here, of course, 18-minute qualifying, the times will start to creep down very, very slowly. And 27.3, we're already getting closer to the 26 mark. And there we go, a 26.9 from MUFC Harvey. He does it as I speak it. Brilliant to see.
Wow. the timing was absolutely perfect. And we see Harvey's taking the early lead here on the 26.9 with 3 tenths, almost 4 tenths ahead of AFL 1994, one of the new drivers here in Tier 4 at Cone Racing League. But Vikemi on medium tires, if not mistaken, is just very, very close behind him with on P2, puts his car on a very, very good position so far.
That's a solid lap on mediums. P2 on the mediums, only 4 tenths off. I wonder if he'll maybe look towards the end of the session to get a bit of softs on and just go try and maybe stake a wee claim for pole position to begin with, because that's a very solid lap in mediums. Of course, the top 10, whatever they set their best lap time on, will have to start with it. If we just ride on board there with Hedgehog 11, another veteran of the league, going 7th with a 27.7. Wild Dog in front of him with a 27.5. Who's next to cross the line? It will be Wuban. Wuban is, of course, a reserve in tonight in place for, I think it's, I'm not too sure actually. I believe it was SS
I think that was Drone.
Was it Drone?
Drone did.
Ah,
yeah,
right.
I think Drone wasn't able to race today, so we have Wuban as a reserve, just starting his lap right now. I think he might have done a small mistake and is pushing again, maybe here once more, trying to go around and putting his time currently on 31.3, but there's definitely some room for improvement, some more air to the top.
Oh, definitely. But, of course, he is a reserve. Just goes to show round 1 already. We've already called upon a reserve. The chances are there, the opportunities are there. And leaning on that point as well, if you're sitting watching this and think, I quite fancy having a go at this, get in touch with us on the Twitter, on YouTube, or somebody on Discord, and we can certainly get you in. We're always looking for reserves, we're always looking for more drivers just to bolster that rank and join the community. As Wuban's one recently done, he's got his chance to show us what he's got tonight.
Absolutely, it's a great opportunity for everyone here to show their real pace, as we are just looking over the field who is on the fast lap, and I think Greg and me, Mahmoudi, are both on the fast lap trying to put time on the board. We have here just 18 minutes of qualifying, 18 minutes time for you to put yourself up on the leaderboard. Greg's Game Center's just approaching the very penultimate turn here, braking on the right hand side, cutting the apex on the left, going up to 3rd gear, cutting the apex on the right and staying on the left and sweeping into the turn over the line and goes up to P11 on 28.1 so far.
Decent lap. He did invalidate his first one, so I think he'll be quite happy with that as a banker. Interesting as well, wee Cammy brought them to P3 on the mediums, but he seems to be still going for them on 3-lap old mediums. It does improve to a 27.0 as well on the mediums. That's a solid lap time.
Very impressive.
I don't know if I'd want to start in 4-lap old mediums personally, but maybe he's just trying to get a bit of track time in, a bit of rubber down. Potentially. Yeah, I'd be surprised if we don't see him back out in the softs anyway.
I would bet on him actually getting a really good qualifying down here, because he already showed last race that he has some good pace, and he is showing it. He once again on P2 at the moment as one of 2 drivers who are using medium tires and just about behind the pole position on soft. So that is very looking very promising for Vikemi. At the moment, the second medium time that we have on the board is from the Maverick, but he's currently on P14, so he definitely needs to improve his time for a little bit.
Absolutely. Good to see as well, all drivers apart from Mean Man Moody have so far got a lap in. Mean Man Moody just coming through Maggots and Beckett's, looking to get his first lap in. Of course, it can be an easy track to invalidate on. I've seen that myself in practice this week already, that the corners can be a little bit unforgiving. You turn in that little bit late, a little bit early, especially at corners like turn 1 and Cops. As Mean Man Moody does actually pull into the pits on his outlap. That is not too sure there.
Something unusual, you don't see that often. but maybe he gave his teammate a little slipstream, but he was just unfortunately invalidated his lap time and is going once again as Matthews just in the first sector here for AlphaTauri.
It's Matthews. Yep, he is just coming through is onto the Wellington straight. He'll be looking to improve his 1:31.5 first lap out just to get a time down. He's definitely got more pace than that, I can tell you that. And he has actually invalidated, just as we were saying. Maybe is that a bit of commentator's curse leaking in again? We were just saying about how getting a lap time down can be a bit of an issue for some, but we're going to jump on board now with MUFC Harvey. He's went purple sector 2 again, current pole sitter. Again, he was about in this academy, well, what was the academy anyway, now tier 4 last season. He'll be looking to really push on and make a claim for tier 3 and title potential. I think he will be one to watch because he is a quick man on his day.
Absolutely. Absolutely, and another quick man as well. We have AFL 1994. As mentioned before, he's new to us as well, but currently P4, just behind Pieron 27.3. He unfortunately did spin and just stayed off the track. This is why we saw some yellow flags as well. But very good that we see the awareness from every driver. And talking about the awareness of the track, MUFC Harvey definitely has the awareness of how to be quick on this track, as he just improves his lap time up to 26.8.
Brilliant lap there. I was just watching on board with that. But also a shout out to his teammate Digweed, or PO as we like to call him. A returning driver this season. Did drive about in the first couple of seasons. A solid lap again, 26.9. That is a strong showing for the Mercedes boys. I think the teammates in the higher tiers will be happy, as Digweed actually looks to be on another lap, unless that could be just the infamous Codemaster second sector purple glitch. But we'll try and give somebody else some airtime. What about Spider Rob? Again, another newcomer to the league, currently down in P16 with a 28.7. He does look to be on a quick one though on the mediums, however, so maybe fancying the chance, we'll go for the mediums, try and get to the top 10 and start on that with the alternate strategy. But we'll see what he does coming through the final couple of turns here in the Ferrari this season. A strong team with that. I can't remember exactly who is it, but there isn't really a weak constructor, as he does not improve, but only half a second off his time on the softs. That's not bad medium pace, maybe something to look forward to for the race. And
yeah, it's very interesting strategies that we see here from drivers all around, as we just see another improvement from again a Mercedes driver. Mercedes is really showing off here early in the season. P1 and P2. Digweed just managed to put his car in front of his teammate MUFC Harvey with a 26.7. But Spider-Up really needs to hurry up right now. He has only one more opportunity, and I think this might have been a mistake. You don't really want to stay out on the medium at this time of the qualifying, because you have only 80 minutes, and the track is evolving. It gets quicker and quicker, so question is, what do you want to do? Do you want to try to risk on medium, trying to get into P10 position? But if you fail, you would waste so much time, and this is what happened here, unfortunately. So he really needs to be very quick back in the pits. And talking about very quick, AFL 1994 just improved his time to 26.5 in front of Digweed now. Yeah,
Hedgehog as well, jumping up into P3. These are, look at that. That is some competitive times. 4 of them already into the 26s. And a man to watch just coming down the hanger straight is wee Cammy. He did a 27 flat on 5-lap-old mediums, and he's out in a fresh set of softs. The only thing I'd be worried for him, if he does make a mistake or a little invalidation, you don't want to be starting. Was that was Wuhan?
Very lucky. Yeah, Wuban spun, unfortunately, on turn 3. I think he lost the rear end and crashed into left wall, but luckily he can continue. But not too sure. I don't think that is going to be enough for him. I think he won't be able to improve his lap time, so very unfortunate for him. Currently in P18. But as we said, reserve driver here to gain the experience, and there's a race still to go.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he might have time yet if he can just do a little cool down lap, get some ERS back, and go again. It will maybe be a lap holder softs, but
He definitely lost his entire wing, so that's going to be
oh, it's
really,
the
really.
front wing as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So he would have to pit and has to go back in, and at the point where he is on the track, that's impossible to go back into the pits. Unfortunately for him, he just needs to avoid the other cars who are quick. But let's have a look on the track. Who else is quick at the moment? MUFC Harvey's on his outlap once again.
Wee Cammy's just coming through Maggots and Bacon, sorry to interrupt, and he did put in a purple sector too. He has 3 tenths up in his personal best coming down the hangar straight. That would put him in about P2 at the moment. Just coming around the third to last corner before the chicane of Vale and Club. Getting a nice wide entry in, just clipping the apex ever so slightly over the curbs, trying not to run wide on the final exit, and foot down towards the line for a 26.704 Glasgow P2.
Oh, so close. Look at P2, 3 and 4. All of them have a 26.7. So close, but AFL just was able to manage to get 2 more 10s. Very, very impressive from V Cammy. Once again, switched to soft tires at the very end and showed his real pace, as we have some more cars as well in Sector 3.
Yep, Reverend Melvin is coming around the final 2 corners to get what probably will be his final flying lap in. It is it's a 135.5, must be something going. He might actually be going again here then. One to look out for again. He showed his pace at times last season, and I think he could be one in for contention. Piero, the first to retire though, P7, 6, was P6 anyway, now P7, but thanks to WOAEK, or AEK I think we'll know him by. Another reserve stepping in again, getting a chance tonight, putting himself in P6 currently. MUFC Harvey just beginning his final lap, he'll be one to watch, as will Digweed, currently on an out lap. He's invalidated his out lap. But yeah, a nice little shootout here.
Going off the track, maybe just a little bit of distraction from the Haas driver. Both are parking in the middle of off track, so hopefully he won't disqualify and block another car who's coming now. But fair enough. Let's see who else is still out on a fast lap. Reverend Melvin, as mentioned before, is still fast as well in the McLaren driver, currently P10 and improved by 0.032. So close. Maybe he can get into a P10 position.
Starting in the top 10, he will be starting on them tyres, but that would give him a little bit extra track position going into turn 1. Rounds the final corner of Club to cross the line for a 127.3, does go up to P9. Who will be next? It'll be, is it Mean Man Moody? Yes, I think, did he just get a lap in there? Did he just manage to start us?
I think I've seen him invalidating his final lap.
See, WOAK next to cross the line, he does not improve. Followed up, it looks like it will be MUFC Harvey. He has invalidated, so he will not improve on his current P5. Next up,
Wildbug out, but as I just said, Wildbug just invalidated his lap time and spawned on the exit of Baggett as well. Unfortunately for him, I think he was slightly faster as well.
Spider Rob coming through to finish up. He does not improve with his P17. Next up is SS Matthews. He looks down in his time at the moment, but there's still chance.
Digweed. It's just him, I think, just coming around the final turn, just about missed the apex on the right hand side and sweeping around over the line and improves his time by 1/10. That brings him up to 26.596, up to P2. So extremely close on P1 and P2. Very, very impressive from the top drivers here already.
And that just leaves, I believe, Wild Dog and Mean Man Moody, who both don't seem to be able to put a lap in. So that is us. That is our top 3. AFL 1994 with a 26.5, CRL Digweed with a 26.5, and Wekami with a 26.7. The top 3 all separated by less than 3 tenths. That is what we love to see here. This sets us up for an absolute belter of a race, I would say. All the top 10 starting on the softs as well. Strategy wise, you'd be expecting them to pick, what about lap 10? And then put on a bit of mediums, but there's always the chance of safety car, there's always the chance of weather. Anything could happen here.
Absolutely, and this is just what we had last season. Last season in qualifying, we did have some rain coming, and you know Britain, you know how the weather can be. It can be very, very surprising at any moment of time. But as you said, so extremely close, just from P1 down to P5 actually. 0.259 seconds. That is nothing, and that is what we love to see in racing when you have the times that close to each other. Very, very impressive.
Yep, sets up for a good season here, I would say. AFL, Digweed, Kami. Digweed, I suppose, a veteran of the league in some senses, but new to this season. Good to see the new guys getting up there. Hedgehog, MUFC, Harvey, Piero, Tomo, and Melvin, all in the top 10 as well, a bit more experienced guys. A nice mix again. It should set us up very, very well. Of course, all these guys will be competing now to scramble for the top 15 finishes and secure points, because unlike the real F1 or maybe some other leagues, we're a bit more kind here at CRL and we give out points to the top 15. So while we transition from qualifying to the race, how about we take a look at the point system for this season, Steiny?
Yeah, absolutely. And as you said already, P15 gets the one bonus point, the one little point for P15, and we are going up the order 14, 13, 12, 11. 11 gets 6 points, and then we are going back to the P10 up to P1. P10 gets 8 points, so a few more points than usual for a P10 position, and then the difference is still 2 points difference up to P9, P8, and P7, and this is where we reach into the bigger difference. So you really want to try to get onto early in the stage on higher finishes, because you have many more points, all the way up to P1 of 40 points, 4-0. So very, very impressive. Plus the one bonus point, obviously, when you have the fastest lap time, but only if you finish in the top 10, as in real life.
Yeah, that's it. I think it's personally, it's a brilliant point system. You know, effectively, if you get through to Q2, you're already in a point paying position at the start of the race. Yeah, it gives plenty of opportunity for all the drivers to score points throughout the season. You're not going to get discouraged by maybe not scoring points. I do have a request as well from the admin to show the quality times, so we're going to quickly jump across. The reason we've been on that point screen is I think we might have a little lobby glitch here, Steiny.
Yeah, I was looking around as well here, but Moody's car itself is just driving around the entire time. So, and he himself said that he has retired already 5 minutes ago. So, or 5 minutes into the session. So very, very unfortunate. Hopefully, we don't have to restart.
Hopefully not. It wouldn't be a Formula One game without early season glitches, would it? Hopefully it's not a rehost. It may be the case.
Yeah, let's see what we'll do.
We'll have to. I think we're gonna try if me and Man Moody maybe leaves the session and rejoins. It's not the best thing for him, but. Yeah.
Unfortunately not, but here we go, and it's gonna be very, very interesting to see. Let's really hope that we don't have to restart and the game just finds himself, because the car would have to eventually run out of fuel, right? So at the moment we're just stuck on 1 second. So let's see what the game decides to do and how we'll continue. But as for now, I've taken a picture already, and as I said, this Mimamudi has left the session, which gave us the opportunity to continue. So a big thank you to him. Hopefully he'll be able to join back as well. into the lobby. But we have a quick look over the leaderboard at the moment from the short qualifying that we had. P1 AFL 1994 in the Alfa Romeo, just about ahead of the Mercedes with a 26.5. The Mercedes CRL Digweed P2, so close ahead as well of the Cammy, who impressed us as well last race in USA, ahead of Hedgehog in the Aston Martin on P4. Another Mercedes on P5, MUSC Harvey just in front of another newcomer as well, Woki, McLaren, Piero, Tomo Tiptop, Revin, Melvin, and the Maverick are making the top 10 together. White Dog is just behind, and Scott is just on P12. But let's have a look of what is going to happen during the race. Woo, I'm excited. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, the first race in season 5. We've been waiting for so long. We had the Cone Cup in between, and we had a lot of waiting time, and we had a lot of glitches as well. So thank you very much, whoever is still in the chat. Show your support to all the drivers, and yeah, don't hesitate to chat as crazy as we did last pre-season race in USA. But amazing to have you all here.
Yeah, absolutely. Another glitch, of course, with me getting put in the Williams is it's a nice little opportunity. We can see the strategy there, starting on the softs, pitting about lap 11, the game recommends. And we also get to see it's supposed to be a fully dry race, but
yeah,
they can
you
sometimes
enjoy
get that wrong.
staying at the back of the grid there. I have the amazing broadcasting camera. Make sure not to hit anyone. But we have another perk.
Yes, of course.
The also joined the session, and yeah. So what we have to do is we have to stay in front, behind the entire grid. So unfortunately, we apologize for the small inconvenience that we had here on the technical part. And then after the race start, he has to go into the box and then retire in the box, just to make sure that we don't trigger a virtual or normal safety car, and try to provide the best possible racing. So once again, apologies to everyone while you're watching here our tier 2 driver as well cheekily joined the session as the Williams driver.
We're getting some nice onboard camera feeds right now. Yeah, I need to try and get round to the pits as soon as possible without overtaking anybody. Brilliant. Nothing ever goes to plan, does it?
No, not really. But this is why we all love Formula 1. Every day is a new day. Every day is a challenge, and especially commentating, there's so much that can go wrong.
No rain expected for the time being.
Yeah. But every car on the track is preparing their own tires, except of our cameraman who is just driving behind. He has to have a steady and calm hand to prevent the camera shake, of course, as talking at the same time at the moment. But AFL is just approaching the penultimate turn, and it's just in the very last turn. Its AI took over already, so we are about to settle down for the race start.
Absolutely. You'll have to talk us through this one. I'll get a nice camera view from the back of the grid, I suppose. I wonder as well if Mean Man Moody's managed to get back in time. We'll see. Yeah, this is a unique race start we've got here anyway.
Absolutely, and as you all can see on the track, on the display, our last man Scott is just on the track, and here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights on. And it's lights off, and away we go. Here we go. AFL had a slow start at the moment. V Cami is just behind. There are no many position changes, as we have a little bit of charging going on here on the field. A few cars going off as well, but so many cars are getting close. But I think there's a Haas spun around, and that is very, very unfortunate. think
It
is
was
that
the Maverick. Yep, he spun round. There seemed to be a bit of contact. There's a bit of debris everywhere. Mean Man Moody as well. He jumped the start and got a drive through, but he seems to just be stationary at the pit straight. Hopefully that doesn't cause any issues with safety car, etc. But apart from that, they all seem to got away pretty clean, apart from, of course, the Maverick spinning. And it looks like Mean Man Moody is now on the move. So not an ideal start for him, but there's a long race, there's plenty of time to go.
That's beautiful. Oh, there's a huge collision. There's a 3-man collision behind Cops. I was just watching this on Tomo Tip Top behind the McLaren driver. I think that was driver Melvin, who just spun now as well. Very, very unfortunate. There were 3 people colliding behind Cops. Unfortunately, we have so much action already at the beginning of the race. Mean Man Moody, very, very unfortunate, just retired. His car retired on track at the end
but
of
officials aren't looking
sector
to push for a
1.
safety car right now.
But
Just be
that
careful.
is very, very unfortunate.
Understood.
Right,
Stopping this
just
lap.
at the very end of the grid, we have some cars having to pit, and another car is pitting as well. There's MUFC Harvey is in the pit, wondering if he has some damage, as well as Atomic also in the pit. In front of our main commentator, Freefall, also entering the pit now to retire straight away as well. But a lot of action going on already in the early stage here, but our field is still close to each other. Ruban, our reserve driver, is currently battling with the Maverick, defending his position. There's some good overtaking as well on track, and I think that we can just join back now with our camera as well.
Yes, we've got the full camera back now. Apologies about that, folks. That was, you know, nothing ever goes to plan live, does it? That's the joys. But yeah, a chaotic start there. MUFC Harvey and Tomo Tip Top, the big losers, I would say, both down 12 and 10 respectively. The big winners though, SS Matthews, Spider Rod up 8 and 7. Snakebite as well up 6. Greg's Game Centre up 7. The game's doing its usual thing. We haven't got the intervals, so I'm just trying to sort of see who's fighting, and currently it seems to be
battling in Hedgehog.
Yep, Kami and Hedgehog for the final podium position at the moment. Digweed out front as well. He's managed to jump AFL on the opening couple of laps and sets the fastest lap time. Well, AFL comes straight back with it. But the battle at the moment is for P3 between Kami and Hedgehog. Less than a couple of tenths split in the pair. I can relax now, Steiny. We're back to normality.
That was very, very stressful for all of us, hoping that we can all race. Unfortunately, it did take Mima Moody out of the race. Very, very unfortunate. But we still have 18 drivers here on track who are racing for the first points here in the Chrome Racing Season 5, and that was very, very impressive already from Hedgehog and Kami, who are still battling for a P3 at the moment. Not much going on at the front, but we had some drivers who were able to improve their positions by 6 and 7 spots. On one of them is Spider Rob, who increased his position by 7 positions, so very, very impressive from him.
Yeah, another little battle going on there with Scott and Greg's Game Centre, sorry, on the old start-finish straight. Scott getting the move done before into Cops and pushing out a nice little second gap. They're starting to spread out a little bit. Wild Dog and Atomic though, a few tenths between them. Wild Dog will be looking to maybe shape up a move on the exit of Maggots and Beggets along at the hangar straight. Closing in nicely, getting a bit tricky with the dirty air, of course, but try and get a nice exit here and maybe a run down the hangar straight. DRS will not yet be enabled, am I right in saying? No, it is enabled. Getting that wing nice and open and isn't quite able to make the move work. Still slightly too far back. Further up though, looks like the front three have all closed up on each other.
Yeah, they have. They were able to get into the DRS win of 1 second behind the car. At the moment, as far as I can see, Hedgehog is just slightly behind us, trying to push so much, is really struggling with his tire wear as well a bit, but It will come down a little bit to the ERS management. If we have a look around on the top 3 boys, there are different numbers. Mercedes driver Digby currently on P1 has a lot of ERS as well available. That looks very, very promising here for him already, but will have to defend the DRS attack. So the question is, for how long can he defend the cars behind? Looking very, very interesting here already. 3 cars chasing down the lead in Silverstone.
3 cars within a second, and they are still stretching that gap to the rest of the field ever so slightly, so that's a positive look for them. Lap 5 of 26 here, of course, a strategy for the guys in the softs, which everybody in the top 10 was. We'll just have a look here actually and see if I can find the right button. Who is on what tyre? So everybody apart from Greg's Game Centre and Tomo Tip Top are on the softs. They'll be looking to probably pit, you'd reckon, about lap 9, 10, 11. Now that could be a big call. Do you pit early or do you pit late? Try and go for over or undercut. That could be the deciding factor for these top 3 at the moment, as Cammy looks to get a little move up the front of AFL. Can't quite make it work. Will maybe we see a Hamilton Verstappen-esque move here into Cops? Thinks better of it. But yeah, the top 3 within 0.6 of a second at the moment. This is what we want to see, as we Cammy side by side into Maggots. Not quite the space there. Thinks better of it. Gets them on board with them now, because the broadcast camera angle is showing us some strange angles anyway.
Yes. Oh, you love those camera angles in the game, don't you? But very, very impressive here already. And as you mentioned before, I was having a look at the drivers who are on medium tires, which is Greg's Game Center, who also improved his position by 6 positions. But Digweed spun out. Digweed in the wall, unfortunately some damage, and he was in pole position. Very, very unfortunate for him. That is going to cost him big points. Hopefully he will recover. Very, very unfortunate for him. He needs to go into the box, but this will bring AFL up to P1 at the moment, and Hedgehog just trying to catch up with the 2 drivers in front. V Camin AFL battling for pole position at the moment.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Digweed, not the start he would have wanted. He was looking pretty strong in the opening laps, strong in qualifying as well. Maybe makes it a bit more of a 2-horse race, but of course we've got 20 laps here to go around Silverstone. Anything can happen, and that is what we love. The penalties, though, they are starting to slowly rack up. We've got Wee Kami, Wuban, and just the 2 of them, sorry, on 3 seconds, as Tomo Tip Top joins them. MEFC Harvey on 5, and SS Matthews and Wild Dog both on 8. And Wikami just makes a move down the inside to take the lead. What a brilliant move. AFL maybe left the door open a little bit, but
yeah, that's
nice clean move.
Not really a reason for AFL to battle at all, because Wikami has a penalty, and as AFL can now see, he's behind the car. His light is flashing. That is indicating a low ERS, and if we have a look onto Wikami's car, his ERS is very, very low, just around 14%, and he's keep using it, trying to break out of the DRS window, but that is going to be a massive task for him. AFL has a lot of ERS and energy and power, extra power to play around with. Very smart driving, smart and calm driving for AFL.
Absolutely, he doesn't need to make the move, he just needs to drive his own race, hold it steady, and maybe just trying to stick in that DRS and use that to pull him along. Digweed has made his pit stop. He's going on to the hards. He'll be looking to take them to the end. Possibly one to watch towards the end. He has lost obviously a bit of time just with the front wing damage and spinning, but like we say, get some good laps in on the hards and the strategy might swing to him, potentially. Maverick though is closing in on Spider Rob through Cops. They're down to less than 0.2 of a second going through Maggots and Beckett's. possible move with the DRS up the hangar straight coming here, similar to what Cami did on AFL. And MUFC Harvey does pick up a 3-second time penalty as well. It is very easy actually around Silverstone, I do find, this year to get the penalties.
Oh yeah.
Of course, we've seen them rack up at USA last week. I don't think Silverstone's going to be much different. It's a big part of the race pace and racecraft, as well as keeping your nose clean of them penalties, because we've seen it before, we've seen it again, that they can have a massive impact on where you finish in the race.
Absolutely. As I said, the time penalties, the warning, as we said, the time penalties are the biggest points during this race at the moment. You really want to keep the warnings as low as possible, and this is probably one of the biggest difference between our drivers in the entire league. We see great skill levels. We can see amazing moves in every single tier, absolutely. But I think if it comes down to the time penalties, it is really down to how much you can cut every single curb, and this is down to practice, and even more practice. I don't want to count all my attempts that I have done just in Magus and Baggers just to get it right, because you can gain and lose so much time in those turns. As we've just seen, I think a DNF, was it Wild Dog in the pit?
It was Wild Dog in the pit. Chip obviously deciding this race was going for him. While that was happening, we've got a nice little freeway battle for P9 at the moment. Reverend Melvin with that DRS, and Spider Rob with the DRS from the Maverick, going side by side down the hangar straight. Melvin making a little switchback move, brilliant. Love to see that. Spider Rob coming back on the inside. This is CRC4, and these are the battles we've got already. We're in for a corker of a season.
Oh, he's coming back. Reverend Melvin coming back into turn one, side by side. We've never not seen this for a long time, and a little bit of touching, but that was very close. Hopefully Spider Rob is fine, as well as his car, and it looks promising so far. But yeah, as you can see, if this is already what we see here at the beginning of the stage, at the beginning of Season 5, I can't wait to watch some more races. Looks really strong, and also really strong is Wuban against MUFC Harvey. MUFC Harvey just preparing his overtake onto Wuban, getting his DRS, and getting in front of him as well. A clean overtake for the Mercedes driver.
That's it. If these are the moves these guys are pulling off in race one, we all know that this tier is about developing your racecraft, bringing yourself on, and maybe an introduction into league racing. And if this is what they're doing round one, I can't wait to see what they'll be doing by round 15.
Oh yeah, the confidence will just increase during the races, during the season. You will be able to settle down at the beginning. Everyone is looking at race number one, because you never know what to expect from your rivals around you. And so far it looks really promising, as we have the first driver just diving into the pit already, a McLaren Voak? Is that the
I think we'll go with AEK. I think that's what he prefers. Him and Hedgehog coming in, going for the mediums. Looking for maybe a bit of an undercut. Spider Rob following them in as well. This could be where the strategy comes into play. Of course, Hedgehog was a couple of seconds off the leaders. Speaking of the leaders as well, Cami's actually pulled out a 3.5 second gap on AFL. Really showing some good pace here. He'll be looking to try and minimise the penalties from here on out, and maybe stretch that on, but it'll be interesting to see how powerful is the undercut here.
Well, I think Spider Rob is just going to go out of the pit in front, or in the group, with Tomo Tiptop and SS Matthews. It's going to be really close. Oh, actually, he's just managed to squeeze between Tomo Tiptop and SS Matthews. So he will need to do some overtaking. Now the chase down is on for him, but we have some more overtakes here. Hedgehog onto Wuban. Some great battles going on. I think Wuban, he didn't pit yet, did he?
No, he's a 9-lap-old soft, so that fresh medium rubber obviously giving Hedgehog a little advantage there. Getting the move done very nice on the outsides. Well, on the outside in the lead up to Cops. Not seen anybody go side by side yet, as Three of the leaders now jump into the pits. Wee Cammy, Piero and Snakebite all coming in. That gives AFL the lead. He'll be looking to put a mighty lap in here to try and stretch out and go for a bit of an overcut. I suspect they'll all be going onto the mediums to try and take them to the end. That would be what I would do, as Digweed picks up a 3-second penalty. Not what you'd wanted.
Having a good battle there as well here. Digweed just struggling a little bit with the connection, but it's Digweed and SS Matthews are going side by side right now, but Digweed just was able to sneak in front of Matthews, but he decided to fight back and do a late braking move and just broke a little bit too late. Needs to be very, very careful on rejoining the track, and he was fair play to him. Now it's down to him to calm down his tires and push back because the race is still long, and Snake is getting really close to Ruban as well. There's a lot of battling going on around Ruban. He definitely wants to stop as soon as possible because you don't want to lose too many positions and too much time.
Yeah, the 10-lap-old softs will be getting towards the end of their life as we have a retirement, and that looks to be on track. It is the Maverick. By the looks of things, we'll try and get on board with Atomic and see what's where he's happened. It looks to be on the exit of I think he's maybe just spun it in the curb and went across the left hand side into the wall. Just a yellow flag at the moment. Doesn't look to be a safety car or VCS at the moment, and the car is away. So fortunately no safety car or VCS. Unfortunate for the Maverick, of course. Not how we'd want him to start out the season, but it just shows you that maybe pushing on older tyres, or well, that was fresh tyres actually, so maybe cold tyres coming out the pitch just going a little bit too hard, do you think?
Definitely. Cold tires is a big thing now in this new game. And talking about tire performance, Ruban decided to stay out. So he thinks that he can go for a long run. Do you think he would go for a soft medium strategy and just try to push his current soft tires as long as possible, hoping for a safety car? Maybe that would help him, but he's losing a little bit of time as he has to defend against so many cars around. Now once again in front of the McLaren driver, and he's already losing 2/10 just on the straight.
Yeah, he's maybe looking just stretch out them softs, and maybe the pace will come back to him towards the end of the race. Obviously maybe a lap or two fresher mediums, but I mean, he
improved by 11 positions, so fair play to him. He still improved by 11 positions, so we'll see where he'll end up at the end. But maybe you want to pit a little bit earlier. In my opinion.
I think it always seems to be the case in the games that the undercut is maybe slightly stronger.
Oh, I've seen it spawn. That is Tomo Tip Top. Just spawn into the wall, which is out of behind Cobbs. Another turn that it's really difficult now in this game to take flat out, as it has changed a lot, and Wuhan is now in the pit lane and got a 5 seconds time penalty as well on top of it, which is really unfortunate for him. So the 5 seconds will be added at the end of the race. I think that you don't wait for 5 seconds now in the pit, but we'll have a quick check of that. Yes, it will be at the very end.
Yep. Tomo, again, he was showing great pace last week at USA. Not the start he would have wanted. It's very easy around Cops with that spin. That looks to be, though, all drivers will be making their first stop, apart from the man at the front, who I think we should give a big shout out to. Greg's Game Centre, of course, started with us last season. He's the only one that's trying to stretch the mediums out. He'll be going for the medium soft, the alternative strategy. It could end him up in a good position, you know, them softs at the end of the race. He's going to have some lightning pace. And of course, if there is a safety car now, you've got the thingies in prime position just to take advantage of that. Or, as I said earlier, a virtual car of safety. So thank you to Nathan and AJ for pointing that out.
That is a lovely way of saying that. As we Cammy on the medium tire in the Williams just made a 28.9, really chasing down Greg's Game Center now, 2.2 seconds behind the current leader But yes, I absolutely agree. Greg is definitely deserving a shout out, as we already mentioned here, 2 seconds ahead at the moment.
Yeah, we're starting to see that as well after the first pit stops. The grid is starting to separate out a little bit. The closest on track is currently Scott and AEK. But apart from that, most of the drivers about a second or so apart at least, as MUFC Harvey now puts down the fastest lap time on a 28.6. Yeah, MUFC Harvey he is catching up Reverend Melvin quite at a bit of rates here. 1 lap near mediums, so you wouldn't think there'd be a much tyre difference, but obviously putting in the fastest lap time is reeling that in. Battle for P9 at the moment, of course, good points paying position already. He will be looking to kick on because we do know the pace he's got. We've seen it in qualifying, starting I think it was P5. Yeah, he'll be definitely looking to shape up a move on Reverend Melvin, maybe into Cops here. And speaking of that as well, Kami has closed down. That's a 2-second gap to 0.7, 0.5 now, in the matter of what, a lap or two.
Yeah.
On Greg at the front, so he'll be looking to clear Greg. He'll be looking to clear him as soon as possible, because the more time he spends battling with Greg, the more time it gives AFL to reel him in and take advantage of that. He's already losing a couple of seconds, a couple of tenths per sector.
That is Tomo Tip as well in the middle of the 2 cars. I'm wondering if Kami is now fighting with dirty air from 2 cars, or if it's just the 1 car, as Tomo Tip has blue flags. At the moment, Kami is trying to push, but the Alpine is just behind. So I was wondering if he's maybe getting a little bit distracted. But we have Scott as well on the track. Is just making a move onto the McLaren driver. As I said, AEK, and he is fighting back a beautiful switchback from the McLaren driver. That was absolutely beautiful battle between the 2 driver, McLaren and Red Bull, as in real life, are battling very, very hard. Unfortunately, not that much, but whenever we see them on track, it is absolutely thrilling, as well as it is now in-game. And Kami now takes the lead as Greg's Game Center is diving into the pit.
Yeah, he's coming in at the end of lap 15, or the end of lap 15 on the mediums. We're looking at 11 laps into the soft. The net loss for the pit stop here is about 27 seconds, so it'll be interesting to see where he does come out in the pack. Of course, he will have the advantage to begin with on the fresh soft tyres. They're looking to push that early doors, but of course you don't want to burn all the rubber too early and maybe leave yourself vulnerable later on in the race. But a very good showing by the Aston Martin boys, sorry, at the moment. I say that as Greg does lose another couple of positions, so maybe my math is a little bit off, but a strong showing from them so far, as well as the Red Bulls.
Yeah, very, very strong here from a few teams very close together, getting early points for the Constructor and Championship, and the Constructor Championship is this season as well. All together, all 4 teams together, but Tom Tip-Top unfortunately DNF'd. I'm wondering what happened there to him, and I can see him behind Cobbs. Once again, Cobbs is a very, very tricky turn. You cannot take flat out that easy anymore as he used to in the last game, but was wondering what happened to him. Unfortunately, another driver who DNF'd during our race.
Yeah, very, very easy to lose it, either by cutting too much of the curb on the inside or taking too much on the outside. I suppose the only silver lining for everybody else is, if you finish this race now, you're in for a points finish. Only 15 runners of the 20, well, we'll say 19, I would say. I don't think that serial freefall guy really counts.
I think his performance is a bit questionable today.
I think he could be demoted to tier 5 at this rate, after what we've seen today from him. As Scott has just spun, and that could be a safety car of some sort. I do believe that's a lot of debris on the track there.
It is the safety car.
It's a
It is
full.
the safety car, a full safety car. Great for Greg's Game Center, by the way. Uh, just another shout out to him who made up many positions and is now on a soft tire by himself. So we'll see who can dive into the pit. Let's see about the difference from the leader. If Wikami was to pit now, he would come out of the pit, I think, in front of Piero, right? Yeah, he would come in front of Piero. 18.5 seconds difference from P1 to P4. So I'm wondering if he wants to go quickly into the pit, and he's pushing hard at the moment. Oh wait, yeah, he is pushing hard. Let's see if he's going into the pit.
I think we could see a lot of them
Yes.
dive in now for a set of softs. I'd be surprised at that. Well, there is of course the benefit. Maybe Wuban, maybe even AFL, only 3 or 4 laps. But personally, I think I'll be going for the softs. I think we could see a good portion of the field jump in. I think Wikami at this rate will actually come out in P1.
Hedgehog is staying out. Hedgehog is staying out, as well as Piero. Snakebite is also staying out. AEK is jumping into the pit. Greg's Game Center is staying out. It's making up some positions here for him. Let's see where he'll end up. Hedgehog is currently on P1. 7 laps old, medium tires. Wikami in behind Piero, so just behind Piero now. Wikami on P3 with fresh softs compared to 6 lap old medium tires now, and we have 8 laps to go. Maybe after the safety car would go down to 5 laps, maybe 6.
I think it'll be 6. I think we'll have this lap and possibly another one just to get the field group back together. So yeah,
Very
Hedgehog,
likely, yeah.
Piero and Snakebite all, and Reverend Melvin as well, choosing to go for track position over fresh tyres. It's a bold move. I suppose we'll see who made the best choice at the end of the race here, but this sets us up for a nice little sprint race to the end.
Absolutely. Let's have a quick check onto our penalty as well. We have a few penalties already collected for a few of our drivers. Starting on P3 with Wikami. We're having a 6 seconds time penalty for Wikami and Snakebite, just 3 seconds, as well as Grex and Reverend Melvin, also a 3 seconds time penalty. So it will be very important to keep those as low as possible, because we have still 4 drivers without any penalty, and Hedgehog, Piero, AFL and AEK are those drivers. Looking strong and promising so far.
Yeah, the 2 at the front on the mediums obviously not going to have them be quite the same pace as Wikami behind them, but you almost think Wikami's got to clear them and then bring out a 6 second gap without burning out the softs too much, because the pendulum might swing back to advantage Hedgehog, Piero on the medium tyres with pace eventually at some point. This has got all the makings of a cracking little finish to the Grand Prix. As we did think, we're going another lap here with the safety car. That just leaves us with Digweed and Matthews to get round and join the queue. I'd imagine they'll make it by the end of this lap. Matthews.
But who's your favorite here? It's all so mixed up. We have penalties, we have we have Greg with an impressive 10 positions improvement. We have Snakebite in P4 with 9 positions improvement. And we have 2 different tire sets currently on the field. Or do we still have the hard tire as well? No, we don't. We have only soft and medium. And the tires are very well mixed up over the entire field.
I think personally I've got to back Wikami at the moment if he can keep it to 6 seconds. If the penalties stay as they are, you would probably fancy him with just that fresher tyres to clear the 2 in front of him and maybe stretch out the gap. But there's so many variables. Will he get more penalties? Will he be able to clear them easy enough? Because obviously every driver here will be recharging their ERS. You would imagine them 2 at the front will be burning through that battery to try and keep him behind until his softs go off a little bit. We will need to wait a couple of laps for DRS, so it might not actually be an easy move as I'm making it out to sound. You've also got guys like AFL, AAK a little bit further down the field, but on fresh softs as well. They'll be looking to pick off maybe Reverend Melvin, Greg, Snakebite just on the older tyres. Personally, I don't think we could pick the podium at this point, let alone a race winner.
Yeah, I absolutely agree there with you. And as well, we cannot forget Piero in P2 at the moment. No penalties. He's known to be consistent, as we can see. The race control is just announcing the safety car in this lap, and we are lucky and happy as well to see SSS Matthews back on the grip. So we will have our safety car restart very, very soon from Hedgehog, and let's see what he'll do.
He seems to be going for it now. We're going to ride on board with wee Cammy here. He'll be the man looking to make a charge on and push on and try and get in front of these two as we're back to green flag racing. Let's hope they can all get away, as MEFC Harvey's already making a move on Spider Rob further back, it seems. I wonder if Spider Rob got a poor exit onto the final corner. But we'll jump back as wee Cammy does make a move on Piero. A little bit of contact, manages to hold it. He'll be very happy with that. That could have easily been a complete spin. Yeah, it's all going up. Greg's Game Centre, of course, lining up a move potentially here on Snakebite. Round the outside, down the Wellington straight. Makes it move done. Very, very good. Of course, the outside will turn to the inside into the next corner as they head back towards the first turn. But Snakebite making a little switchback attempt here. Brilliant move by Greg. Reverend Melvin now deciding he wants to get involved. We've got about 6 cars and 2 car lengths. This is this is brilliant.
It's so close. It's so close battling. But yeah, unfortunately he compromised his exit there a little bit. Snakebite just in P6, getting so close to the McLaren ahead. And we have still AFL who's battling against AEK. AFL improved his position now. Well done. MEFC Harvey's battling as well, trying to get into P8, and he does just about. Now just behind AFL, that would be an amazing battle as well. He dive bombs a little bit. AFL leaves a lot of space, and another switchback from MEFC Harvey, but just about missed the acceleration. That is beautiful racing, what we can see here already into those two drivers. But we're jumping back to wee Cammy. He's doing another late braking move onto Piero. That is absolutely beautiful. And now up to P2, he will need to chase down Hedgehog in P1 at the moment. 10 lap old medium tires as the field all the way in the back. AFL is fighting for his life. MUFC Harvey just a 10th behind. So much going on here at the last few laps. This is turned into a sprint race and a 5-lap race. MUFC Harvey, a beautiful switchback, and takes the position back again from AFL. Absolutely brilliant move. And AEK is just behind him as well again. That is beautiful, and I need to take a break here because my voice is about to break down. Absolutely incredible what's going on here.
Well deserved break indeed. We do have a yellow flag in sector 2. It is Wiban spinning and breaking his front wing around Stowe. We've seen it a couple of times already today. It's very easy done. He'll be looking to get in the pits. Probably put on another set of softs and maybe go for the fastest lap, because there's still points to be won here today. And that little train, there is a full-on train, I would say, from about P4 all the way back to Digweed in P10 really. They're all pretty much within DRS of each other. This is about to get really tasty. I just do believe DRS has now been enabled for this lap. We'll get to see the first dose of that down the Wellington Straight. And as we were speaking there, Hedgehog has lost the position to wee Cammy. Now, the battle is on. Wee Cammy, 3 lap softs, Hedgehog, 11 lap mediums. 6 seconds of penalties in play, unless it's... Nope, it's still in 6 seconds. So he's got 4 and a bit, 5 laps to stretch out a 6-second gap on the Hedgehog. It'll be tough, but he's shown the pace he's had today. Hedgehog, of course, experienced driver. We know he's very good at not getting the pens. He'll be looking to just maybe get around, maybe just settle for P2 at the moment. It's a good start to the season, but battle for the podiums is well on
Oh,
here.
Atomic and Spider up side by side into Cops. Are we gonna see side by side? No, we're not. Spider up is just leaving the position here for Atomic, but that was a really, really good move from him. AK again getting so close, and Digweed just behind. This is a 3-man battle with ERS and Slipstream down the straight. And what does Digweed do? He tries to go on the inside, 3 wide, and there's a touch. That is a touch from McLaren driver onto the Mercedes driver. That is something for the stewards to have a look into at the moment. Unfortunately, it didn't go well for Digweed, who's just doing some donuts off track. Unfortunately for him, he's going all the way down to P13.
Not what he would have wanted coming out of that move, but brilliant to see drivers going 3 wide, going for them sort of moves and that sort of close racing that we want to see. Bit disappointing with the contact. Digweed especially will be, might review that to the stewards, but in the meantime we've got another battle on here with 3 cars within, in fact 5 cars within about 2 seconds of each other, from Hedgehog in P2 down to MEFC Harvey in P6. MEFC Harvey putting in the fastest sector 2 of anybody so far this race. He had a little bit, I believe it was him, had a little bit of an incident at the start of the race. He's done really well to get himself back into contention here. That safety car obviously helped him, but he'll be on a charge as Greg.
Oh! He lost the car control on the exit and took out the McLaren from Revan Melvin. He lost it on the exit of Cobbs and lost the control and crashed into the McLaren, who was about to make an overtake move. Very, very unfortunate for both drivers.
Not what we like to see, but we've obviously seen it a few times already in real life, especially with that corner going side by side. And a few spin outers ready. Piero's managed to make the move on Hedgehog, but of course Hedgehog still technically net P1 with the on-track penalties at the moment. MEFC Harvey is closing in behind though. It's just the different compounds here at the end has really spiced up this race. Unfortunate for some of the likes of Digweed and Greg getting damaged because they were both in very good position, showing very good racecraft here. But of course it's early in the season. These guys aren't going to let one bad performance set them back, and I expect to see them back in the similar positions again as AEK has a little bit of a spin through the first sector.
That is unfortunate for him, absolutely. We have another close battle here, but most importantly we have V Cami on at the front and Pierre having to make defending moves. That means that he's losing so much time to V Cami, and currently that is a 3 seconds difference. Or another touch from MVC Harvey with Hedgehog as they are just battling on the exit of Beckett, but Hedgehog just able to defend his position. MVC Harvey's going for another dive from now side by side, but not just quite, making another late breaking move, and he does make the position good. MEFC Harvey with a lot of time penalties of 17 seconds, but definitely not shy of battling his way up the grid.
So you can understand why he's on a charge now, trying to make the most of with them penalties. Trying to get as far ahead, up to 20 seconds. He was trying to get as far up that field and make as much time to the cars behind him as he can. Hedgehog, yeah, he's still in a good position. I wouldn't be battling too sore with somebody with that many penalties, because you're ultimately going to get the speed, the positions back. He'll be looking just to toe on and try and take advantage of Piero and Cami's penalties at the moment if I was him. Further on back, we've got another little battle shaping up between AFL and Atomic. Atomic, shout out to him as well on the 15 lap old mediums, the longest tyres of anybody. He was languishing down in the bottom part of the teens earlier on in the race, and up to P6. Brilliant little result for him at the moment. And Digweed as well seemed to have a little spin through Maggots and Bigots on the final lap there. He is into the pits. I don't think he's retiring. I think he's putting on a nice set of fresh red stripes soft to maybe again try and blitz the final lap. As we have yellow flags in sector 1, as I say that, Greg having a little spin on his fresh softs as well. The two staples of the league, I would say. The two The two... Oh, Greg, another little spin. I was trying to say a word of maybe the more experienced in life, shall we say. I think that's a nice way of saying it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not having a good time. But we'll jump back on board with Hedgehog for the moment as he looks to chase down the front three. He's holding on to the back of Piero, who's let MUFC, maybe not let him pass, but had to relinquish the position of P2 in the moment. Wikami though has stretched out a good 4.5 second gap to Harvey, and then a 1.4 gap further back to Piero. That's roughly about the 6 second mark.
Still very, very close. I've just had a look. Hedgehog is 6.5 seconds behind the leader. 6.6 seconds on the last lap. He would need to have an amazing last lap, but I think this will bring P2 for him if everything stays the same. Currently, V coming with a 6 seconds penalty is bringing him down the position, the leaderboard. Unfortunately, he had a few warnings, too many to take the W. To take the W back home easily. But even with a 6 seconds time penalty, as he predicted, it looks very, very promising so far.
Yep, as he rounds the final corner to take what will be the first victory of CRL Season 5. It is Wikami X in the Williams. MUFC Harvey crossing the line in second, but with his penalties going to drop down a little bit as Piero and Hedgehog both jumping. Hedgehog, sorry, missing out by 0.9 of a second on the leader. Very, very tight there at the end when the penalties come in.
Maybe just a little bit less battling on track and just trying to focus on the time penalties from the driver around, and maybe he would have been able to take the W back home here, but still very, very impressive driving from a Hedgehog here up to P2, and Piero just in front of Snakebite as well. He has a very, very strong start now in this season as well, and we haven't really talked a lot about him, so 9 positions he was able to make up, impressive for him. Unfortunately, Grex wasn't able to keep up his record, but Snakebite impressive here on P4.
Yep, AFL gets P5 for the Alfa Romeo, a good solid debut for him. AEK, one of the reserves, stepping in P6, solid performance as well. He'll be pretty chuffed with that, I would imagine. MUFC Harvey, P2 on track, drops down to P7 it looks, with the, is that right? Yeah, P7 with the penalties. Maybe a bit disappointed, but the pace was definitely there for him, so that's something to take for it. Atomic in P8 on his debut with Spider Rob, I believe it was in P9. We'll get the full rundown of the results here just in a second, but wow, Steiny, what a start to the season.
Absolutely, that was very, very interesting, very, very impressive. So much fighting, and as you have mentioned before, there's so much close battling going on, and for a long time as well. You've seen 5 cars behind each other, all within 2 seconds, and this is really what brings the beauty of racing down to the track as well. Very, very impressive here at Wikami taking the W back home here with a 6 seconds time penalty, and Hedgehog is the only driver on track who survived without any time penalties. So very, very impressive driving from the 2 drivers here once again, but I think one of the drivers that have impressed me the most today was Snakebite.
Yeah, Snakebite, P13 to P4 in his debut. For me, it's got to be driver of the day worthy. Piero maybe a bit unlucky to miss out, P7 to P3, a solid performance on the first race of the season, but for Snakebite being his first proper race in CRL, that's a definite performance to write home about and be proud of.
Absolutely. Absolutely, very, very impressive racing here all over the field. But this is it, ladies and gentlemen. This was our very, very first race of the Season 5 here in Tier 4. And I can't wait to watch back all the races or even join the live streams on this coming Thursday for tier 1, 2, and 3. Very, very excited myself to finally race as well again. I think we have so many drivers waiting. I've trained so much during the off season, and this new game makes everything even more interesting and more thrilled than last season.
Yeah, it's what we always look to do. We always look to push on and improve season upon season. And I think it's one of the strengths of this league that it does seem to just get better and better every season. I'm personally looking forward to cracking on first to myself. In the meantime, though, I'm gonna try. Well, obviously, some of you might have noticed there's a little something different with the stream this week. We've obviously tried to change things up, and
which looks absolutely amazing as well, by the way. We're just trying to add all the drivers for the podium interview. We'll have the Cami, who improved his position by 2 places, started on P3 and finishes on P1, and a Hedgehog, once again a driver that has joined our podium interviews quite a few times now, already started on P4, improved his position by 2 places, but very impressive as well. As mentioned before, 0 time penalties on his side in the Aston Martin. A beautiful, beautiful livery that was introduced before F1 2021 started. But last but not least, on the podium, the Red Bull, a car that loves to stay on the podium and is on the podium in real life quite a few times, rather than seeing a Williams. Red Bull Piero on P3, who increased his position by 4 places. Started on P7, now on P3, and at the moment we're just trying to add everyone into the chat so we can do some interviews.
Yeah, I'm just sending out. It's a little bit different than what we're used to, but hopefully everybody that wants to, that is available from our top 3 can jump in.
Hello? Yes, we have our first one already. Hedgehog, how are you doing? Welcome.
Oh,
a little bit different this time.
Yeah, it is a bit different. It's better though. I like it. I feel like I'm on my speaking to someone on my phone. This is weird. You two okay?
I'm doing great. Yeah, thank you so much for asking. It's I was sweating here just doing the commentating on my chair, but I can't imagine how it was for you on track. How did it go for you?
I mean, long story short, 'cause I could be here all night. I mean, obviously, I had a P3 in the bag. I was pretty confident, and the safety car come out, and I was like, "Oh no, it's going to screw me over." It was like a toss-up between pitting for softs or sticking with the mediums. I decided to stick and try and defend. I don't want to call anybody out because obviously I respect everyone in the chat, but MUC Harvey for the 2nd week in a row has probably cost me a win. 20 seconds a pen, and he's going for moves that weren't on. But again, I think it's because I'm a City fan and he's a United fan. I think that's probably the reason. But yeah, we take it. I've matched my best result from last season already, and my best quality from last season already. So it's a good start. But to miss out on the win by a second is like agonising.
Very, very close. Absolutely, yeah. We were mentioning as well, we were talking about what could have done different for you to maybe take the W there, but it was very, very close, just 9-10 separating P1 to P2. But very, very impressive, the drive that you did. The only driver who survived without any single time penalty on the track at 9/10 behind P1, so quite impressive. But we also have now Cami, who joined the chat. Congratulations.
Cheers, mate. Oh, honestly, I had to do it for Mark because he wasn't in. Don't know why, but sure there's a good reason.
Yeah, of course, you both had a solid showing last week in USA. It was a 1-2, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but with Mark's pens, Hedge got second, so...
that's, yep. But a 1-3 nonetheless, still very solid for the pre-season race. You seem to carry across the pace from track to track very, very well. Of course, getting the win here tonight. You're willing to kick on for the rest of the season then, I'm assuming. That's 40 points in the bag put you top of the standings. It's a nice place to sit.
Yeah, I suppose, but the thing is, I mean, I had the opportunity to do a bit of practice this weekend, but I'm back to working 7 days a week now, so practice is going to be hard to come by. But you know, it is what it is. So you know, just going to have to do what I can when I can and see how that goes. But yeah, no, I was really confident on Silverstone. You know, it's one of those tracks. You know, you need to be on point going into corners and stuff like that. I had a little bit of an incident in quali when I was doing my fast lap on the mediums to try and get high up on the mediums, where I ran into someone in front of me and it completely threw my lap off. I know they might have been on a fast lap as well, but I was blitzing it, so I caught up to them. So I ended up having to qualify on the softs and then just went with a one-stop strategy, but then that safety car come out and I got one penalty after just one singular warning, so I don't know how that happened, but the second penalty, I was in a chat with Hedge and Greg actually, and Greg was going in the pit, so I moved wide to allow him space to come round that last corner, because we were pretty much side by side, and as I moved wide to give him space, being a good sportsman, I ended up getting another 3-second penalty, so I was like, oh no. And then that safety car came out, bricked it, but I just had to just go for it full force. And Piero didn't make it easy. I thought I was gonna, it was not easy. And but once I got by him after a couple of laps, I was like, right, let's go. And rinsed the ERS and just went for it really.
Yeah, very, very tough battle as well from your side. You've mentioned as well a few incidents. So please, everyone who's still watching or maybe watching afterwards, you are more than welcome to report any sort of incidents, any penalties, any warnings that you think that are unfairly treated. So please don't hesitate to report everything. The stewards will look after the race tomorrow through everything. So there might be some position changes as well onto that, but very, very close battling as well here. At the beginning, it was looking like a very, very promising and a clean start. I want to hear your opinions as well on this, and we're going to start with Hedgehog. How did the start go from your perspective?
Well, me and Cammy were in a party together, and we were both on the second row, and I was like, Cammy, do not touch me, stay away. No, honestly, like, the race that was good. I was happy. I was a little bit annoyed with myself because I feel like I could have done better in quali. But that's an improvement for myself because, you know, back to back, I think obviously P2 last week in USA, P4 tonight in quali. So obviously it's an improvement. But like, I couldn't have lost to a better driver, and I mean that because he's put the practice in, he smashed it, and if it wasn't for the safety car, he would have won comfortably. Well, obviously I managed to get a little bit closer because of the safety car. It actually helped me out in the end. I thought the safety car was going to screw me over, but helped me get P2. And in fairness to Harvey, he's already messaged me and apologised, so that's what you like to see. You know, it's good respect. But I could have lost to a better driver, but he's beat me twice now in 2 weeks, and it's got to stop next week. So not again. But no, is it France next week? Zandvoort, France? I don't know. I can't remember. I think it's France.
Yeah, it's France next week. So what you're telling us here is you'll be looking to get some revenge in next week and maybe knock him off the top step of the podium.
Well, it's been 2 P2s in a row, so hopefully. I was gutted for Greg. Obviously, you'd have seen it. Greg was so close to podium again, and I lost right at the end. So me and Cammy were both gutted for Greg. We
were in the chat like, mate, there was the violins were going, everything. I was like, no way, no, Greg. Like, sat there just like flying through maggots with a single tear dripping down my eye. I was like, no. And he was like, oh, I'm going to go on the softs. I was like, oh, Greg, no, Greg. P3, Greg. Could have been P3. Oh, but yeah. Oh, another thing on qualifying, I hate to like get into it.
No.
When I went on my last fast lap on the softs, I don't know if anyone saw it because Greg was like, oh, the stream's on you, good luck, and I started like shitting it. But when I come round that last corner, I literally, like, there must have been a millimetre in it, got my time invalidated, and I set a 1:26.1, and I was like, no fucking way. Sorry for swearing, but I was so enraged with myself for making that mistake. But it is what it is. It was a good race. It was a pretty clean race all over. I mean, yeah, Can't complain about it. But that start was quite funny because I was like, Hedge, I'm going to go out wide. Just please don't slide out. And he was like, I'm going on the inside. Just don't cut in. And I was like, good. So, yeah.
Yeah, very, very close battles that we were able to see here during the entire race. There's so many switchbacks attempts as well, which you love to see. Close battling. Start was sketchy, but thrilled as usual. It's amazing to see you guys racing, and I can't wait to watch in the live chat next time, because next time we'll have Jay Wills as a co-commentator, where I'm very, very excited for him about. And I'm gonna be in the chat, but that is it. I would like to thank you both very much for the time and for the interviews, and maybe a last few words after we have heard a few excuses for some situations, but we all know that track limits are very, very difficult, especially in this game with all the different handling system. Maybe a few last words from your perspective.
Hey, Chad, how'd you like to go first, mate?
Oh, sorry, I froze then, lad. Sorry.
What's he saying? Why has he not said anything?
It's not getting to me. I mean, I was chuffed. You know, I don't particularly like Silverstone. It's my home Grand Prix. Obviously, you want to do well. I had a shocker there on the last race of last season. I don't really like Silverstone, but I guess it's good to get results on tracks you don't particularly like. 4 of my best circuits are right at the end of the season, so I'm looking forward to them. And if I can keep grinding out results on the tracks that I don't particularly like, then I think I'll be up there. But there's people like Cami, Piero, a few others as well. Obviously, it was close. Digweed did so well until he span. He looked really comfortable tonight. So it's wide open. It's one race, and it's good to start well. But as I know from last season, you can start well and fall off very, very quickly. So it's
you've picked your rivals already for the season, haven't you?
Exactly. So it's get straight on to France now and practice for them next Monday.
Absolutely amazing. How about you, Cami? Have you picked your rivals already, or are you gonna say like, this is gonna be easy for me?
I think in terms of rivalries, though, like the thing is, I've had the opportunity to practice. If I don't have the opportunity to practice, like I won't have probably for the rest of the races, it's going to be a lot harder. It's going to be a lot harder. Like I've done a lot of laps on Silverstone this weekend, so you know I have a bit of backing to the reason I've had this result potentially, if it's helped at all. But for the rest of the races, it's going to be minimal. So I'm just going to have to, like, you know, go in and try as hard as possible. But I don't see it being like this for the rest of the season. I tell you, it's going to be a lot more difficult. The fact that my car broke down and I couldn't get to work this weekend basically meant that I had time to play F1, especially on Silverstone. It's Britain, and I was like, yeah, I got the Union Jack hanging in my room. I ain't messing this up.
Maybe you'll need to organize anything else that would make your transportation a little bit more difficult than getting to work as well. But let's not jinx it, because we have experienced already a few commentator curse moments on our side.
Absolutely, I'm quite guilty of that.
Absolutely, I'll get a new car tomorrow.
It was you last season, Steiny, with all the commentating costs, particularly on myself a few times. But it seems you transferred that power to me for this season.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. We had some amazing races, some amazing interviews as well here. It was a big pleasure to have the two of you, Hedgehog and Cami, as well with us in the chat. But Scott, it is down to you as the main commentator to call it a day with this beautiful shot of the Williams.
Yes, that has been us for the opener of CRL Season 5. I'd just like to thank every single one of you that tuned in at some point throughout the season, last season, and hope that you'll join us for this season, and everybody that joined us tonight, whether it's live or watching it back, eating your breakfast tomorrow morning. Steiny, have you got any last words? Thank you for joining me tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure as always, mate. Sad to see you go next week, but of course we'll have Josh here instead, as well as maybe some other guests throughout the season. I think I might be the main com, but we'll see. There'll be a lot of different variety here. But yeah, would you like to just say your goodbyes, I suppose?
Absolutely, yeah. I'll leave my goodbyes here with you. And I was very, very excited to start the race. It was a very, very close qualifying, especially up to P5, just 2 to 3 tenths different and close battles. You love to see having more drivers now doing closer and closer battles, even with our drivers who are new to league racing in tier 4, and we have 10 new drivers, and a few of them are already showing off the new skills, even if they have trained or not. We will see what excuses we'll hear next race on Thursday on Monday, my apologies, in France. But don't forget to tune in as well on Thursday, where we have Tier 3, Tier 2, and the Masterclass Tier 1 as well on stream. That was the evening from my side. It's yours, CR Steiny. Over and out.
And just to echo on for that, join us again on Thursday evening at 7:30 BST and 8:30 BST for Tier 2, 3, 1. That was quite a strange order to do it in, I must admit. And join me again next Monday at 8 PM BST for round 2 of CRC 4 at France. I've been CRL Freefall, also known as Scott, and have a wonderful